Understanding the difference between Chandragupta Maurya, Chandragupta I and Chandragupta II. Many of the students get confused to which empire do they belong. So in this section, we would understand the hierarchy in which different dynasties came. So the first dynasty among this hierarchy that we would help understand today was the Magadha dynasty. With the fall of the Magadha dynasty, you had the Nanda dynasty. The last ruler of the Nanda dynasty was Dhananand, and Dhananand was overthrown by Chandragupta Maurya. That means which dynasty came at this point of time? So it was the Mauryan dynasty. Now Chandragupta Maurya belonged to the Mauryan dynasty. After Chandragupta Maurya, you had a separate small kingdoms that were there. In the north, it was the Kushan kingdom. The most important ruler of Kushan kingdom was Kanishk. In the south was Satavahanas. After that, you had numerous small kingdoms in which the country was further divided. But later on, you had the Gupta Empire that came. And with the advent of Gupta Empire, which is also called as the Golden Age, the unification started to occur. Now, under this unification, the first important leader of the Gupta dynasty, the major ruler was Chandragupta I, followed by Samudragupta, his son, and followed by his son Chandragupta II. So that is the hierarchy. Now, before we go forward with further details, a quick recap of the concept again. So it was Chandragupta Maurya who came as a part of the Mauryan dynasty, and this Mauryan dynasty overthrew the Nanda dynasty. Before the Nanda dynasty, there was Magadha dynasty. After the Mauryan dynasty, there were the Kushans and the Satavahanas, and then later on fragmentation of smaller kingdoms. Finally, you had the Gupta Empire, of which Chandragupta I and Chandragupta II have been important rulers. Now, during the time of Mauryan dynasty, you had two important works that were composed. The first important work was Arthashastra by Chanakya. Now, Chanakya and his role has been very important in overthrowing Dhananand because Chanakya had a personal grudge against Dhananand, who was one of the cruel and unpopular rulers of that time. And Chanakya finally trained Chandragupta Maurya at Takshila, and the victory of Mauryan dynasty started. So Chanakya's work of Arthashastra is important. The second important work during this time is Megasthenes Indica. So Megasthenes was the ambassador to the court of Chandragupta Maurya. We would understand about that in a while. Coming on to the Gupta Empire, two important persons and their works are, first is Kalidas, his work of Abhigyanam Shakuntalam and Meghadutt. The next is Fayan. Fayan was a Chinese traveler. So Fayan and his contributions have been very, very important. Now, coming on to the empire established by Chandragupta Maurya. So this was the empire that was extended or established by Chandragupta Maurya. Now, as you can see, this was a huge area that was taken into captured by Chandragupta Maurya, mainly the northwest area. So the western part of Afghanistan, you can say, the region surrounding Kandahar, the region of Takshila, Patala, and the present day Pakistan were the areas which were taken by Chandragupta Maurya. Now, what happened was, after the death of Alexander, Seculus was one of the major generals, and Seculus was with an idea to expand his empire across. Now, when Seculus started to stretch the empire, he was defeated by Chandragupta Maurya, and a large part of the region was ceded to Chandragupta Maurya. In return to that, Chandragupta Maurya gave him 500 war elephants. However, Seculus had to give his daughter to Chandragupta Maurya in marriage, and he also sent Megasthenes, who later wrote Indica, as we have seen, to his court as an ambassador. So those were the developments that were seen as a part of the Greek invasion, and the whole of the northwest frontiers that were there were now under the control of Chandragupta Maurya. So technically speaking, if we talk about west to east and north to south, the expansion of the empires, we could say, was from Himalayas in the north to Narmada in the south, and from Hindu Kush in the west to Bengal in the east. So this was the technical stretch of the empire of Chandragupta Maurya during that time. And also this was for the first time that such a large unification of the empire could be finally done under the Mauryan dynasty. So the role of Mauryan dynasty is very, very important. Now coming up to the Gupta dynasty, we have already understood that after Mauryan dynasty there was a break and division into smaller fragments, and later on with the Gupta empire coming into power, the power again strengthened. Now one of the most important initial rulers of Gupta dynasty was Chandragupta I. Now Chandragupta I remained as a king for 15 years. His another name was Maharaja Dhiraj. He was ceded to the throne of Magad. So this was the initial area of the power of Chandragupta I. If you can see the dotted lines here, this region marks the territory of the Gupta empire that was there. So you have the whole of the Gupta empire that could be seen here. The region that we have shaded here with the blue was the initial region which was under Chandragupta I. Now Chandragupta I got the throne of Magad and he ruled Patliputra. Now as you can see here, Patliputra. Why Patliputra was the seat of Chandragupta I? Because Patliputra was given in dowry to Chandragupta I due to his marriage or the matrimonial alliance with the Lichavi tribe, and the Lichavi tribe of Vaishali. The princess was Kumara Devi. So after marriage with Kumara Devi, Patliputra came as a dowry to Chandragupta I. Now after that you have Samudragupta, whose power expanded to the remaining areas, and finally this whole area of Saka kingdom was won by Chandragupta II. Now since he ceded powers of the Saka kingdom, he was also known as Sakari. So that was another name for Chandragupta II. Chandragupta II was also known as Vikramaditya. So Chandragupta I as Maharaja Dhiraj, Chandragupta II as Vikramaditya. Also, now what happened was, in the south you had Vakatakas, and there were marriage alliances with Vakatakas, and Vakatakas helped to conquer Saka for Chandragupta II. Now Saka was one of the strong dynasties of that time, and victory without the support of Vakatakas was not possible. So Chandragupta II had a good relation with Vakatakas, and as a result together they were able to gain control over Saka dynasty. And control over Saka dynasty was very, very important. Why? Because it opened the frontiers for trade from the west coast. Now you have trade relations that started from the western world, from the Mediterranean region and far off regions, and therefore this control was historically very, very important. Also, another development was the change of capital. Now, as you can see, Ujjaini was the new capital that was built, and this Ujjaini was the capital that was formed during the time of Chandragupta II. During the time of Chandragupta I, it was Patliputra, and during the time of Chandragupta II, the capital was Ujjaini. Chandragupta II had 9 gems in his court. Kalidas was one of the gems, and we already understood Kalidas wrote two important works, which one was Meghdut and other was the Abhigyanam Shakuntalam. Both of those have been very, very important works in history. Also, one important thing about Chandragupta II was he was a devout follower of Lord Vishnu. So those were some of the developments that we have seen. And then there were areas of influence of the Gupta period during the time, which included the Vakatakas due to the matrimonial alliances, the region of the Pallavas and Kushans. So that was the area that have paid tribute to the Guptas and the influence that could be seen in these areas. A very important understanding about this was the difference between between the three rulers, Chandragupta Maurya, Chandragupta I and Chandragupta II. Chandragupta Maurya belonged to Mauryan dynasty, after which small dynasties came up, and finally you had the golden age under Gupta dynasty, and two important rulers of Gupta dynasty were Chandragupta I followed by his son Samudragupta followed by his son Chandragupta II. So that was a kind of hierarchy, and with Chandragupta Maurya, after Chandragupta Maurya in the Mauryan dynasty you had Bindusar and Ashoka, which we would cover in the separate lecture. So stay tuned for many interesting lectures and concepts in Indian history from our side. Have a wonderful day ahead.